What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I'm bringing you guys a video talking about 5 things I think everybody should keep in mind when they're starting to join the project pan community or when they're doing their first project pan. I have been doing project pans for about 2 years now. I started them when I had just a blog, and I've continued them both on my Instagram and now on my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in hearing more about the 5 items or the 5 things that I think everybody should keep in mind, then just keep watching. Okay, so I just went through my comments for what, the month of April, or maybe the last 2 months of April, and somebody came for me the fact that I did not have my information correct in a video. So I have notes. Okay? I'm gonna keep them flowing. Okay, and we're gonna see how we do in this video. So the first thing, I think a lot of people love to pan eyeshadow palettes. That's like a big thing that a lot of people pan. And one thing that I would really recommend is taking into consideration the formula of the eyeshadow that you choose to actually pan. For example, you guys know that I am panning 3 in my Pan That palette. I'm panning these 3 palettes, right? Lorac and ABH both have a pretty powdery, oh, I never got that eyeshadow from my haul. Okay, I'm distracted like a squirrel. Okay, so Lorac and ABH have a pretty loose formula where you put your brush in it and you're gonna get some kick up, you're gonna get some extra stuff. It's just, you're gonna get a good amount of kick up. That is highly different when you're panning a project, and you need to take that into consideration when you're comparing it to like a Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place, you don't get very much kick up, if any at all, and that's gonna make it highly different and highly more challenging or easier when you're doing your project pan. So for me, I would recommend doing a more, not a more powdery, but a powdery formula for your first project pan, especially if you're doing a full Pan That palette. I would highly recommend you doing a more powdery formula. My first project pan palette was the NARS Fully Loaded, and that is a very dense, very compact formula. Your girl was done. I think I panned like 3 eyeshadows and I was like, I'm done, because it took me almost a whole year to get through them because they're so dense, so compressed that you just don't take that into consideration. So definitely take that into consideration. And then kind of on that like 1B topic, I wanted to say, take into consideration, no, next, I'm stupid. Look at your list, sis. Look at your list. Okay, number 2 is how much product is actually in the product that you're panning. So it's gonna make a huge difference if you're giving yourself, let's say, 3 months to pan a fully new primer that is a full size. So this has 1 fluid ounce compared to if I'm giving myself 3 months to pan a mini that I've already used some of. So definitely consider how much product is actually in the tube or the actual eyeshadow. Different eyeshadow palettes and different eyeshadow brands have different amounts of powder or formula in it. So like this ABH Modern Red has, it doesn't say how much is in the eyeshadows on the back. Yes, it does. So it's 0.02 ounces in each eyeshadow pan for the Modern Renaissance. For my Lorac Pro, it only gives me the total. I can't do math right now. No. For my, why does nobody want, anyways, I know my Juvia's Place is going to be a lot more. Okay, so it makes a huge difference if you're challenging yourself to hit pan or finish up a Juvia's Place that has a lot more product in each actual pan than compared to a Modern Renaissance that has smaller amount of product. So not only do you need to keep in mind the texture and the formulation of the eyeshadow, but you also need to keep in mind the amount of the formulation, the amount of the product that is actually in the item that you're trying to pan. Number 3, I'd recommend for your first project pan, or really just trying to get more into the project pan community, I would highly recommend panning products that you enjoy. Products that without thinking, you're like, oh, I need a blush, I'm gonna grab this blush. Oh, I need a bronzer, I'm gonna grab this bronzer. Because when you force yourself to do a project pan, not force yourself, but when you're putting yourself in this community, I think it's always easiest to slowly bridge that gap and pan stuff that you enjoy. Don't get me wrong, throughout my, like I said, 2 years or so that I've been in this community, I have panned things that I detested. But doing that, it takes a longer time. And for your first project pan, for your first couple of months in your first project pan, it's always good to get a significant amount of progress so you feel encouragement, you feel an accomplishment. You see yourself getting closer and closer to your goal. So I would highly recommend thinking about the items that you're already currently reaching for consistently, and that's mainly for those who have a bigger collection. If you have a smaller collection and you quite literally only have one of everything, then I mean, you're always panning things. But if you have a bigger collection and you're currently reaching for certain products more, I would highly recommend you focus in on those products for your actual project pan. Number 4, kind of segues. Let's skip number 4. We're gonna go rogue for a little bit. We're gonna do number 5 until I can think of a real number 5. So number 4, I would recommend adding one challenging product to your project pan, regardless of whether you think you're going to be able to accomplish it or not. For example, this year I am currently panning or attempting to pan 4 different eyeshadow palettes in 2 different project pans. That is challenging to me. You guys know, if you follow me on my channel for any length of time, I do a lot of eyeshadow reviews, tutorials, videos, just in general. So that means I'm always testing out a new formula. I'm always bringing in a new formula, something. So for me to be panning eyeshadow palettes, that takes a lot. And so for me, that was kind of my challenging aspect. Well, that and the lip products, we're gonna save that dog and pony show for another day. So yeah, I would definitely always recommend doing one challenging aspect to see how far you can go. Just kind of a small tangent. This year I did my first 10K, which I am extremely proud of myself. 4 months before I did that 10K, I was dying at the finish line of a 5K. And I pushed myself. I told myself while I was running my 10K, I am not gonna stop. I am not gonna walk. I am gonna get my fat behind across that finish line. And I mean, the joy that I had on my face of just finishing that race as a 10K was just insane. It was insane. And so that's kind of a correlation that I intend to have at the end of this year. If I can get through all 4 of these eyeshadow palettes and I can hit my goals on them, I will just feel elated at the fact that I was able to do an accomplishment that I truly and honestly did not think I could do, but I pushed myself to do it and I was able to get it done. So that is number 4. And number 5 is something that I'm actually doing in a more recent project pan that I'm starting, and it is to use project pans as a way to get to know your products more. There are some project pans where it's like, you know that you dislike this product, you know that you love this product, and that's purely why you want to project pan it. You want to get it in and out of your collection, or you just want to use all of the product and get your money's worth just to repurchase the item. But there are some instances where you have a product in your collection, you forgot about it, you just don't remember how you felt about it, and it's just been sitting there, and now you want to know, do I like this product? Project pans are beautiful for that. You can do a more rolling project pan where you take items in and out of your project pan based on whether, okay, you figured out that you enjoy it, or whether you figured out you really don't like it and you're just not feeling it. Project pans can be very flexible. So don't feel a need to hold yourself to some standard that some other YouTuber, some other Instagrammer that's been doing project pans for 10 years or even just 1 month is able to hold. It's very, very flexible. And this is kind of leading into my kind of concluding remarks. Do what you can and what you want to do. Once again, I find myself always comparing myself to others, whether it's project panning, whether it's my collection in general. And I always want to help remind you guys, don't compare yourself to others. If you want to use project pans in order to purely just rotate through your products more easily, like, you know, every 3 months you're going to use certain products and you just want to see how quickly you can get through those 6 products, then do it. Do not feel the need to completely use your products up in a year or do a year-long project pan or even a month-long project pan. Do whatever works for you. Project panning and everything in this community, in my opinion, is very flexible. It's very malleable. Do what you feel at that moment, in that moment, for that moment, okay? And yeah, I just kind of wanted to come on here and do kind of a 5 things that I kind of wish I knew at the beginning of my project pan, because I'm telling you guys, had I known that, your girl would not have panned that NARS palette. That NARS palette was a pain in my behind. Same with that Black Radiance finishing powder. That powder has been in 2 project pans and I have not killed it yet. Okay, so very emotional today. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. Definitely let me know if it helped. If you guys want to hear some more of like my experiences, my reflections on my project pans, because I do have some reflections. So yeah, as always, y'all, it has been real. Peace.